new elected government compare potentially to the last one?
You mean to Mario Draghi? Completely different. Mario Draghi was not an elected official, and he was a technocrat, and he was put there to solve Italy's financial crisis. And he was seen by Brussels as a very stable, a very reliable pro-European leader. Giorgia Meloni is completely different. She's from the far right, and as you mentioned earlier, if she does become Italy's next prime minister, she is going to form a very right-wing coalition, the most to the right since World War II. And there are people in Brussels, leaders, who are concerned about some of her policies.
What do we know about her policies? What is it that she has actually won this amount of votes based on?
That's an interesting question, because if you actually look at her manifesto, at the Brothers of Italy, her party's manifesto, it's quite vague. That they have never governed before, so we've never really seen them at work in government. They've always been in the opposition. What we do know about her is that she has a very firm, very hardline stance on illegal immigration. She says that this is a matter of national security. She is a Eurosceptic. She has softened this stance during the campaign, but in the past, she did advocate for Italy to leave the euro, the common currency. And also really important is her social conservatism. Giorgia Meloni says she is in favour of what she calls a traditional family, mother and father. She's against gay marriage and adoption, and this is a really big part of her campaign.
And also, she'll have to potentially work with coalition partners. Are there areas where things may become difficult for this potential coalition?
Well, obviously, we'll have to wait and see. They have similarities, but also big differences. And one that has emerged a few days before the vote is their position on Russia and the war in Ukraine. Matteo Salvini, the leader of the League, has admired Vladimir Putin for a long time. Famously, a few years ago, he was photographed wearing a T-shirt with Putin's face on it, whereas Giorgia Meloni is a big supporter of sending weapons to Ukraine and of sanctions. So this is something that the coalition might, be clashing on.
And briefly, Silvio Berlusconi, a return to the Senate for him. What does this mean?
Political comeback that Berlusconi has been trying to achieve for a very long time. He's been Prime Minister of Italy for a very long time, but in the last few years he became known at home and abroad for his bunga bunga parties, and he was also, he's a convicted criminal on accounts of tax fraud and bribery. So for him, this, represents a big political comeback, and he'll want to work very closely with Meloni to keep his position.
Sophia, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed.